Good morning, friends, and welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you stopping by this morning. In today's video, we are going to be making a raspberry stimulating scalp scrub using a couple of different surfactants, and the total of those surfactants have a value of 6.15 ASM, which is really great for our scalp. In addition, we're going to be including some pink sea salt, as well as some silica, hyaluronic acid, some menthol crystals to give you a little bit of tingle. We're also going to be putting in some raspberry fruit powder and some raspberry seeds. So if this is something that interests you, stick around and let's go make some stimulating scalp scrub together over at Creation Station. Okay, friends, we are over here at Creation Station. Let's just get going on making this scrub. We're going to start by putting our menthol crystals, and we're going to combine them with our fragrance oil, which happens to be raspberry. I'm going to stick this in a water bath just to help that along to get that menthol crystal dissolved. Very tiny little bit of menthol crystals. I am making just a small little batch today of the scrub. It's literally only 6 ounces, but this is a minute amount. It's nothing. So I am going to put this in a water bath when I get to my oil phase. Anyhow, I've got my water phase here. I have very little water in here, but we are going to add some water into this. And to that, we're going to be adding some butylene glycol. And we add this because it is a moisturizer. And I'm spilling it all over the table. That's fine. All right, so we've got our distilled water, we've got our butylene glycol. Next, we're going to be adding some hyaluronic acid, which is also going to add moisture. This is already pre-made. Give that a nice good mix to make sure that hyaluronic acid in particular is dissolving nicely. All right, next we're going to be putting in some citric acid because we want to balance the pH of this right from the start. We will be checking this after everything is all done. We may or may not have to adjust again. We'll see. Just give that a little stir, make sure all those crystals are dissolved. I did not heat up this water, by the way. All right, so that is it for our water phase, and we're going to set that aside. Okay, next we're going to be working with our oil phase. So I've already got some Lotion Pro here, which is basically just your glycerol stearate and PEG 100. It's the same thing. So I've got that, and then I'm going to be adding raspberry seed oil, because this formula is a raspberry mint stimulating scalp scrub. So we've already got the raspberry fragrance oil that is dissolving in the menthol crystals, which is going to give you the minty part. Now we've got our raspberry seed oil. I'm going to combine my surfactants. So in here I have got DLS mild, which is your disodium laureth sulfosuccinate. Very, very mild surfactant. Rather on the viscous side too. All right, and then next we're going to be adding our cocoa glucoside. Slightly viscous. right, let's give that a little stir. All right, we are going to now go and put our water phase and our oil phase into a double boiler, into a water bath rather. So I'll bring you back in just a few minutes when this is done. Okay, we are back, and what we're going to do next is add some silica powder. Wear your masks when you guys are working with this stuff. The reason why I'm using it today, well, A, I have a bunch of it to get rid of, honestly, but B, when you use this in a scrub, it acts as an abrasive. So just be careful when you're working with it. It will go airborne on you. These particles are going to fly up into the air. You want to be wearing a mask. Just start to gently stir so you don't kick up a lot of those powders. I'm using it in a very, very tiny amount. It takes a little bit of work to get this incorporated. I've literally only worked with this a handful of times, and every time that I do, I put the powder into the aqueous solution and leave it overnight. That seems to be a good way to get everything hydrated. Just keep mixing until you get it mostly incorporated. And then we're just going to add that oil phase that we melted down in our water bath. Give that a good mix. Everything we've added so far is for hydration, moisturizing. And of course the surfactants for the cleansing part. So this is nice now. Okay, so we're going to start adding our exfoliants. So we're going to be adding some Himalayan pink sea salt. And next we're going to be adding some dead sea salt. This is the fine dead sea salt. And even though I have water in this formula, it's at such a minute, small little amount. If you wanted to use a larger grain of your dead sea salt, you could. Just be careful you don't use too big of a grain. We don't want it scratching our scalp, you know, horribly. All right, this is looking very nice. Okay, the next thing we're going to be adding is some raspberry fruit powder. When you're working with any type of vegetable or fruit powders, you guys, always make sure that you are using a broad spectrum preservative, okay? This is going to add some really nice color, but the antioxidants also in this are going to be very beneficial in the product that we're making. You can see that pop of color. And next we're going to go ahead and add some crushed raspberry seeds. You want to make sure you grind them a little bit. You don't want to use them whole because they're going to be a little bit too pointy. And that's going to be an uncomfortable feeling on our scalp. Look at that, beautiful. This will thicken up upon standing just like everything else we do. But that looks great. All right, we're going to add that fragrance oil with the menthol crystals. That beautiful raspberry smell. And then of course we're going to get ever so slightly of a little bit of a tingle from the menthol crystals. It's going to make your scalp come alive. Let's give it a smell. Yes, please. All right, and lastly, we need to add our preservative. Liquid Germall Plus, which is a broad spectrum preservative. And we are done just like that. If you wanted to omit the water completely, you could. Just add that portion, because it really is just such a very small little portion. Just add that portion onto your Himalayan sea salt or your dead sea salt. All right, now we want to do a pH test. I've already got my water weighed out. So I've got 18 grams of water weighed out. We're going to put 2 grams of our product in here and do a pH test, and then we'll adjust if needed. Let's go ahead and get our pH strips, and then we'll also do it with the pH meter. And it doesn't look like we're going to be needing much. It's on the lower end of 4, which is fine. So that's looking good. Let's go ahead and get our meter though. We'll test it with this as well. All right. And we are at 4, which is fine for a scalp scrub. All right, let's put this over to the side, and we'll go ahead and package this up. This is the package that I'm going to use. Got this at the Dollar Tree actually, since I was only making a small batch today. All right. Put that on there, and what I intend on doing, if I'm going to sell these, which I probably will, I've got some pink ribbon here. So I'm going to tie that around. Then I've got this little wooden spoon so that people don't have to dip their fingers into the jar. I want to say I got these on Amazon. I'm fairly sure I did. I'm going to have to actually tilt that over that way just to do this. It's hard to do this with gloves on. Come on. There you go. And I'll tie it one more time just so it'll stay on there. Tie it in a little bow. And let me go ahead and just trim these ends off. And there you go. You've got a cute little scalp scrub with a little scoop that people can use, because you're not going to use that much on your scalp anyhow. So there's that, but give me a moment. I'll put a little water in here just so you can see the foaming action. All right, just add just a little bit of water. Just the slightest little agitation and you're getting some bubbles in there. I mean, this was hard. This was like no product, like barely anything. But do just a slight little agitation with your fingers and you can see the bubbles, and I can feel the exfoliants on the bottom of the dish here. But there you go. All right, you guys, I think that's going to do it for today. Here, let's use this. Waste not, want not. Get every little bit off of here. See, there was like no product at all. And you can see the bubbles with the agitation. All right, you guys, that is going to do it for today. Let me put those aside, wipe my hands off. This is going to be mine. But anyhow, that's it. Here is our beautiful scalp scrub. Like I said, this is going to thicken the longer that it sits, just like everything else that we make with scrubs. The next day, this is going to be relatively thick. But there's a cute little way to package it with a spoon on there so people don't have to dig their fingers in. Alternatively, you could put it in a squeeze bottle. You could put it in one of those clear squeeze pouches. That will work really well. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. This has been a long time coming. I just had a lot of other videos that I needed to get out first in our series with our rice that we did. So this has been on the back burner for, my gosh, months now. But here it is. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, like if you do, share it with your friends, make a comment down below. That is going to do it though, you guys. So until we meet again, be kind and stay humble, okay? Take care of yourselves. We'll see you soon.